Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news and notes mashup video today, starting with Michael Hunter, who you can see here on screen has called out Derek Chisora, saying, "Let's dance at Derek War Chisora." And he's done this following Ben Shalom, the promoter for Boxer, who has cards on Sky, saying that they wanted Hughie Fury to fight Derek Chisora. We wanted him to fight Hughie Fury, but he isn't interested. So Hunter taking that opportunity, and we'll come back to this in a second. But of that situation with Sky and Boxer, Hughie Fury, Derek Chisora, remembering Chisora had basically a few weeks ago said to the major networks within the UK promoters, "Come to me with a 2-fight deal." He went to BT, he went to DAZN, and also to Sky and Boxer, and said, "Just give me a deal, 2-fight deal, and we can do business." Obviously, Hughie Fury at Sky and Boxer, that makes sense because he is currently their number one heavyweight. But for whatever reason, Derek Chisora doesn't want it. So Shalom continues, "We're looking at options and speaking to his team. We have our idea of what works for us. Other options, Michael Hunter, Chris Arreola, maybe Dominic Breazeale. It has to make sense for the both parties. Chisora is still a big attraction in the UK and has plenty of options." So I guess of Hughie Fury, quick comment, any of Michael Hunter, Chris Arreola, Dominic Breazeale, yeah, that would work. But I think Arreola and Dominic Breazeale, they are with the PBC. PBC don't typically farm out their fighters unless, like on a one-off for Andy Ruiz Jr. to get a free shot at a title, or 3 titles, I should say. So Hunter, maybe that's a possibility, but what's his promotional status? Because if he's with Triller still, and it's unclear what his promotional status is in terms of where he is contracted, well, it may not happen if he's still with them. But remembering Derek Chisora, in terms of that potential matchup, he's off contract. He is bound to no one. So if Hunter is still with Triller and Derek Chisora gets paid a decent amount, sort of what he's looking for, even if it was a 1-fight deal, that could actually be something that would work. But I guess the thing is, Derek Chisora would probably most likely want to fight in the United Kingdom, want to have that hometown big crowd, want to be the A-side in that equation as opposed to being a B-side filler on a Triller card. Because let's face it, Derek Chisora has certain expectations, and of what he's done in recent years in terms of this pay-per-view run that he's been on, even though he's lost basically all of it, he is still an attraction, as Ben Shalom says. So he's got some bargaining power. But of the fight itself, Hunter obviously has had a couple of fights at Triller now. One where it was just a tune-up, and then one against Jerry Forrest where he didn't look good. So he needs a bounce-back fight. He needs to prove to everyone, look, I'm still a guy not to be trifled with. And Derek Chisora obviously coming off a performance against Joseph Parker where he was beaten up and dropped several times, not taken out, but he was given a good old shellacking in that fight. So he probably wants to prove he's still got a certain level in the heavyweight division. And for both these guys, nothing doing at the moment. Kind of makes some sense, but is there the money to do it? And also, if Hunter is off contract with Triller, well, where would the fight go? Chisora hasn't got anywhere to have that with at the moment. So a few question marks, but I don't mind it. Don't mind it at all. And for Hughie Fury, obviously names like a Michael Hunter. Well, if Hunter's off contract with Triller, that would make some sense, and I'm sure that would be a very tough fight, and Hughie Fury would get a lot of credit for beating Michael Hunter, who's generally regarded as a guy somewhere there or thereabouts around the top 10. After the last fight against Jerry Forrest, where he went life and death and arguably lost and got a lucky split draw, I think, you can ask the question, is Michael Hunter slightly past prime? It's unclear, but he didn't perform in that one, but it's not to say he can't come back and be better again in his next fight. Moving on, Bakhodir Jalolov back in the ring this weekend. So this is one of the fight cards that Probellum has in Dubai. So he's going to be facing Kamil Sokolowski. I really like this fight. Heading into this one, Jalalov 9-0. Remembering the Olympic gold medalist from Tokyo 2021. He was also at Rio. He was in the Olympic Games there. Had a couple of years where he was pro, then dropped back down to the amateurs, made his campaign to Tokyo, got the gold. So he's 9-0 at the moment, and this does represent, despite the look of Sokolowski's record, it's a step up. It is a bit of a litmus test just to see where he's really at. And let's face it, we just saw Kamil Sokolowski not too long ago against a very uninterested and unmotivated Otto Wallin, and Wallin didn't look flash in that one. So Bakhodir Jalolov can make a little bit of a statement if he goes in, performs and looks good. But he could have some tough rounds because Sokolowski is a hard out. And this week they've had already the open workouts. You can see Jalalov here. And also he's Thor Bjornsson. So he's there as well. Huge man. Bakhodir Jalolov is no slouch, 6'7" in terms of the height. So Thor Bjornsson, it really is a man mountain, as it were. Moving on, Tony Yoka continuing his preparations for Martin Bakole in May. So he's in the United States at the moment. You can see here sparring with Jonnie Rice, also Patrick Mailata. Not familiar with the guy on the left, but Jonnie Rice, as we know, had a couple of good wins in 2021. That was against Michael Polite Coffey. Patrick Mailata, a New Zealand heavyweight, who I'm quite familiar with. He actually lost to Kingsley eBay last year, so he's working his way back. But both these guys, talented, strong, got power. Tony Yoka, good work for him. And rounding out this heavyweight news and note smasher video. So Justis Huni pictured here right, and his next opponent, Kiki Leutele, who's a New Zealand heavyweight. They've come face to face for the first time. There was a press conference, undercard press conference for the card they're featuring on, which is Jai Opetaia versus Myris Bradis, and you can see Bradis in the background here. That is going to be in May. So Huni and Kiki Leutele, that is the co-main event. And after Huni's been out for a year with injury, he also had COVID. So, obviously that's probably taken a toll. He's been out for the best part of a year by the time the fight rolls around. Not a bad comeback opponent. Kiki Leutele is tough. He'll keep coming. But Justis Huni certainly goes in the favourite here. And of this press conference, and you can see here just a couple of photos on Huni's Instagram feed. He says in the comment, press conference today for my upcoming fight in May. Feeling pumped. Tickets available, yada, yada, yada. So I'm looking forward to that one. So it'll be interesting to see what the international broadcasting arrangements for that fight are. But you can see here the local ones in Australia, Foxtel, and I think behind Huni's head here, KO Sports as well. But I'm really looking forward to seeing that fight. Huni back in action, especially after the disappointment not going to the Olympics last year because of injuries to his hand. So we'll have to see how he sort of shapes up on that one, but looking forward to it nonetheless. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.